welcome to Podro Pascal. I'm your host, Rachel Leishman.
And I'm your other host, Katrina Dennis.
And we're here for a special little episode because it's been a busy little week.
Mm-hmm.
Not much news has happened, and I don't know, nothing's really changed in my life in the last day that we've not recorded.
I'm just here for the ride. This is not just a recap of the episode in which our dear Pedro Pascal hosted Saturday Night Live. It's also the story of how Rachel and producer Ashley chased this man across town all week.
No, we didn't chase him across town. We went to one building and just
That's true. It was the one building. That's true.
So for those who don't know, Pedro Pascal was in New York last week and hijacked Ashley's vacation to New York because he was here to host SNL. And when you host SNL, you get to go on Jimmy Fallon the Thursday before. And so for Ashley's birthday, I simply asked my friend who works there what the best policy for standby tickets was for Jimmy Fallon. And he was like, "Oh, I think I can get you in," and he did. And so me and Ashley got to go to Jimmy Fallon, and see Pedro Pascal as he was preparing to host. And so here are our tickets.
Cool.
We were just like hanging out. We just got to sit there. He looked so cute.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, the thing is, it was the best way to describe it is that they go on to SNL and are just being like, "Yeah, I'm doing SNL, yada, 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 yada." It's not like a crazy experience of him going on Jimmy Fallon. It was just pretty straightforward. It was really nice because, like, me and Ashley went together. Ashley has never seen this picture because I have not downloaded it. So this is the first she's seeing of her and I at Fallon. And then, so the whole plan was the minute we realized that he was on, um, Ash is a trigger warning. The whole way we realized that knew what our plans were going to be was it was announced that he was hosting SNL, and it was like right when Ashley was coming, we were like, "Well, shit, we gotta try and go." It's not the easiest to try and go to SNL because you basically have to just hope you get a good spot in the standby line now, and all this stuff. And so it was like I felt as the co-host of Podro Pascal, if I did not try to go see him at one or both of these shows, someone in our little comments would be angry at me because I live in New York and did not try. So I risked life and limb and I went. Basically you have to like go and you have to stand outside. It was freezing cold temperatures, and so we all got in. Ashley got a pretty good number on her reservation, and so then we went. We camped out. We were outside for an hour. We went. We stood outside for an hour. We got our little tickets. We got our little SNL tickets that say Pascal and Coldplay. And it was 12 degrees. Producer Ashley just in the comments said it was 12 degrees. It was freezing.
You guys had weather going on there.
Yeah, I'm doing like the briefest of rundowns, and then we can like get into stuff. But basically, like then we like had to go back. We lined up for how many hours did we have to line up for? It was 9:45. We had to be there by, and we stood there for probably like an hour and 10-ish, 15-ish minutes, waiting to see if we got to go into SNL. And then we sat our little booties down. We watched Pedro Pascal host live in Studio 8H. And then I left. There are people in this world who went and looked for him and tried to meet him. I'm not one of those people. I'm old. I went home. I went home both days. Both days.
I don't blame you.
I said, "Good night. I'm going home. I saw you from about 100 feet that away on Thursday. And then I saw you from about 100 feet that away, like looking down on Saturday. And I said, good enough until you're on my podcast. Deuces."
That sounds fun. I mean, like it's more the excitement of it is less like, oh, did they get to see Pedro? It's more like, I can't believe they got to go on this like roller coaster of emotions like, completely unplanned, like, it started as like, "Oh, this is a cute little thing I'll do for Ashley," and then it's all of a sudden you're going to freaking SNL.
Well, and famous last words, I've been to SNL and I said the old camping system was basically like, you got in line and you
Mhm.
just had to hope no one was there. So, sometimes it was really easy, and then there were other days, like, if Harry Styles hosted or whatever, where people would
Mm.
be in line for days. So you
Whoa.
were like, "No way I'm fucking getting into this SNL." Well,
No.
the new system basically is you log on, you try and get a reservation, and then you have to go stand in line for a bunch of hours. Because it was so cold, they, like, cut it down, so we only had to wait in line for an hour, but
Mhm.
it's a lot easier this way, I think. But I did the old way where you camped out overnight. I did it for Adam Driver and I did it for Chris Pine.
Mhm.
After Chris Pine, I said, "The only reason I would ever do this again is if it is an actor who I genuinely love." And then it bit me in the ass because it was
And
like,
there you go again.
and I stand by it. I mean, there are other people I would have gone and seen too, but I just like I don't I've done this and I didn't have the interest. But with this,
Mhm.
I was like, I have to go. It is a requirement of the podcast that I go and attempt to see SNL while he is hosting. But yeah, it was the experience of all of that was very chaotic. So I'm very interested to hear your perspective of seeing Jimmy Fallon and seeing SNL,
Mhm.
just like watching it because I was like, I still have not as a person.
Yeah, so while, Rachel and Ashley were out in 13-degree weather trying to get tickets to these 2 shows, I was here in sunny California, enjoying a nice weekend off. I spent my day playing Disney Dreamlight Valley and eating snacks, and then I settled in and watched Fallon, and it was nice. It was, like, I got to I don't usually watch, like, a lot of late night anymore just because, like, I don't really have cable, and I'd rather be, like, playing video games or recording Podro Pascal. So I haven't tuned into Fallon in a long time, but it was great. Like I love that. Like it's a lot of the feelings I've had this weekend were about how he's become this like prolific Chilean actor who is known worldwide, and like there's a big sense of pride that comes with that. And so I think just like seeing him on Fallon and seeing him on SNL, little Pedro from Santiago, was just like nice overall. And then when SNL was on, I pub sitted that night, so I came home and I was nice and tired, and I like watched it right before bed. So it was just a really cozy weekend with Pedro,
You were like, I had a
as
nice
SNL says
warm
it.
weekend. I had a nice
Yeah.
warm weekend.
Yep.
Uh,
That's what we're titling this episode, right? My weekend with Pedro.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Because we said we're gonna make a shirt.
Mhm.
We'll get into shirts later.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, it was funny because it was like seeing the amount of people who came out for this show. So like we were in line, we were like, okay, sure there's gonna be a lot of people who have been fans for years. They were like a lot of people were like, oh, I've been in love with this man for the last 6 months. Meanwhile, me and Ashley are standing there like, my podcast is better than you, I think. I think Podro Pascal is older than these children. And one of them, and I'll never forget her. She said, and Ashley can correct me if I was wrong, but she said something along the lines of, "Oh, these people don't get it. I've been a fan of his since the bubble." Or she like it was something like I was waiting for the bubble.
Oh, okay. I was
And
gonna say
me and
like
Ashley,
halfway through our show,
the
like.
bubble was 2022. Me and Ashley were like,
But I think it's cool though because like when you
it
think of New
is.
York City, New Yorkers have known Pedro for a really long time. Like he performed in the park in Shakespeare in the Park, like many moons ago, and so I think it's interesting to have like brand new fans. But like, did you hear from anybody who like was from that era of fan?
What do you mean, like the older era?
Yeah, like
No,
did any
it was
diehard
us. That was us.
long term fans? Yeah,
It's just
like,
the
I love
4
new
of us.
fans, I do, like, I don't want to phrase it as like diehards because you could get super hyper focused on something
Oh, yeah, of
and
course.
become a diehard overnight, really. But man, that's interesting that like a lot of the people. I guess if you watched him when you were in Shakespeare in the Park, you'd be around my age, and then you'd be like, I just want to have a cozy night in. It's 13 degrees out. I think I'm gonna stay in my apartment and sit by my heater and watch him on SNL. But yeah.
It was just so funny because I was like, "Oh my god." And then Ashley was like, "I'm gonna" so every time someone would talk about it, Ashley would mention she'd be like, "Pedro Pascal." And,
Good,
like, we just
good.
kept doing it to, like, make people listen to us. And so then she had a button every time someone would ask about the podcast, Ashley would have to find this button that she kept not having on her when someone would ask on it. It happened like 3 times where she'd be like, "Oh, wait, where's the button?" And then she was like, "Do you think I should just throw a button down onto the thing?" And I was like, "What, like this?" And so it became a whole thing. She was gonna try and kill some people by throwing buttons off the top of
Oh,
SNL.
that's amazing.
It was a lot of chaos. I realized that, like, I've been to SNL. Also, I've been to, like, I go to live tapings if there's people I care about. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm just like adjacent enough to this
Mm,
industry. Like, it was a live show, and there were people just like talking, and I wanted to turn around and be like, you realize the TV can hear you.
yeah.
Like, you chit gen is getting, and like you could hear, like some of the sketches were just screams, and you could hear like when you're watching it, you can hear these screams, and they were screaming right in my little ear. So I had a headache, and I've never felt older in my life sitting there with a headache because
Mhm.
people were screaming for Pedro Pascal. I was like, my head hurts. But so here's the thing. Like I said before, Jimmy Fallon was basically like, "Hi." Oh, there was a good story on Jimmy Fallon that we should talk about before we head into SNL breaking down sketches.
Mm.
And it is that Pedro Pascal thought he didn't have the role of Joel because he took an Ambien and just
Oh,
thought he had
yeah.
dreamt.
He thought he dreamt that he got the call, and so he woke up the next morning. I love that part of the story where he's like, "Oh, I woke up the next morning and I was so worried, I was nervous. I was just waiting for that call." And like just so r relatable. I
He
don't
was
take
like,
Ambien
dreamt it.
all the time or anything. I just am a forgetful person. So that has happened to me before where it's like, did I get it? Oh no, I must have dreamt that I got it. Oh no, when am I gonna get it?
And they're like, we told you last night. Um,
Mm,
yeah, that was cute. It was like a lot of it was all about Jimmy Fallon used to be on SNL, so he knows what it is. So it was just like a lot of that. It was fun because Catherine Newton was there, and I didn't know she was going to be on there
mhm,
beforehand. I'm a Marvel girly, so I was like, "Ooh, Catherine Newton."
mhm.
I got to see a little Ant Man. I wooed. You can hear me go woo when she mentions Kang. No one else was wailing. I was like, okay, it's just me.
Mhm.
Um, and some of our listeners said they could hear me laughing.
I think
Like,
I heard you screaming during SNL, but I definitely heard you a lot during Fallon.
I on SNL, you could hear me. My Leah, who's been on this podcast, my roommate said the way that she knew I had gotten in because we couldn't text anyone. You basically had to shut your phone off and go in. Was in the cold open. There's a Yellowstone joke,
Mhm.
and I started laughing and then realized I was the only one laughing, and so I just kept laughing because I was the only one laughing, and so I laughed for a good 30 seconds, and you can hear me laughing because I couldn't stop because I was like, "No one else is laughing about this, it's just me,
Mhm.
LOL." Um, and there was, like, a couple of little ones that I could hear, but me it was between me and Rachel Zegler. She was also laughing, and it's like the Rachels were laughing wherever she was in this theater.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so Fallon was fine. It was fun and fine. It was part of my gift to Ashley. I went
Mhm.
out 2 times to see Pedro Pascal while he was in New York. But the SNL was the big one, the big guns, as it were, and we
Mhm.
got to sit in a theater while he did his little monologue.
Yeah. That was such a cute little monologue. I wrote notes about it. I will talk about that purple short shirt moment once again. another winning achievement for Pedro stylist. It was incredible. I
Mhm.
actually have a shirt that ties like that, and so extra points. But it's what a delightful top to choose to put him in. I loved that outfit from the
Mhm.
opening monologue, and it was really cool to just have him, that moment where he started talking about his family and choking up. It was just like really cute and sincere, and I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, I think that's what was surprising, and it, like, set a really nice tone. Is
Mhm.
that, like, every I watch SNL every week for work. There's a lot of people who are like, "I wanted to do this my whole," and, like, you can tell that they genuinely did, but
Mhm.
it's his was different, like, you were like, "Oh, no, this man sincerely, like, wanted to always do this and didn't think he ever would." And you could
Aw.
tell in the way that he did like, was talking, he was like, "Holy shit."
Mhm.
And it was awesome. I was like, "Oh, this is so sweet." He's crying over SNL. It was
He's
really
so cute.
cool. The video is now going a little viral online, but his
Mhm.
handler, like my friend Anna had gone to the dress rehearsal and she told me she's like, "Look, watch his handler," like the lady who like pulls him and makes him go places.
Mhm.
Because she was like, he tries to stand and like savor every moment, and she's coming and dragging him, and it's cute for a number of reasons because it's like he's genuinely like, "I'm having so much fun, I wanna just, like, take it all in," and then this lady's like, "I'm trying to do my job, you need to come with me right now." And in that monologue, he's dancing, and I looked at Ashley and I was like, "The commercial break has started." And he was still going,
Mhm.
just, like, on stage, and this lady, like, dragged him off, and she ruled. No notes to her. I love her so much. She said, "Sir, go change."
Mhm.
Um, I need to change so that he could do this sketch. The big
Incredible.
old Hollywood quiz.
I love this one, it's great. I just feel like if it was explicitly said, like, "Oh, all of these people are parents or millennials who work full time," then it would explain everything. Because that's, I feel like if you and I were not involved in the film space, that would absolutely be me, because that's me when I don't know a movie, which happens every once in a while. I'm just like, "What?"
I did like that it had a comment like, it had double commentary 'cause it was like
Mhm,
it was the commentary of, like, there's just so many movies now,
mhm,
and, people can't keep up, but also the commentary of, like, film bros who are like, "I know cinema," and then you talk about films that came out within the last 10 years, and they're like, "I don't know that one. I don't
mhm.
know that one." It was just so
Yep.
funny hearing the answers and then, like, hearing like, it was so funny. When he says, "Nope," our entire section was like, "Yeah!" Like, it was like we were at an actual, like, game show because everyone was
Mhm.
just so happy that he said, "Nope." I was like
That's great.
I was like, "Oh, we're all losing our minds already. We're screaming as he said, 'Nope.'" Yeah, it was I think I ranked that when I did my lineup, I think I ranked that last, but I put a note that's like, "It's very good." Like, that's the thing is, like, this all these sketches are really good. So even if it's not, like, the best of the night, I was like, "It's still a good sketch."
Yeah.
But my favorite of the night, or my second favorite, I will say, is next. And it is, of course, the HBO series take on Mario Kart.
Ugh, it's so perfect. It's just so perfect. I love it. Like, okay, so this means a little bit of a special thing to me, but my dad is a Mario cosplayer, right? Like he spent like most of his life, like his like adult life at conventions, it was either Super Mario or a Star Trek outfit. And so he, and like I said, we're Chilean, and so it was a very like roundabout moment for me. I thought it was really funny and cool.
Someone came out of the sh somebody came out of the show from the dress rehearsal, and Ashley was, like, getting updates, and they had just literally listed every sketch that they were doing,
Wow.
and I was like,
Jeez.
"What if you guys learned how to act?" Don't do that, but
No.
it's too late now, they did it. But, but I didn't know the extent of this, and then it was a gritty HBO series, and Ashley could attest, I literally screamed. I leaned forward and just screamed because I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
"Holy shit." I would watch this though. Yeah, I love it. I like, it's just so dumb. And then when Yoshi and Toad are like, "And I'm bisexual," and then
It's great. I love it. It's such a brilliant little skit, and I like that. Like even in the world design, it kind of looks like the Game of Thrones board game world intro, which they then used again for Westworld, which they've then used again for The Last of Us. Like I like those little attacks.
yeah, it's so good. It's so stupid and yet so
Mhm.
good.
Such a
Just so good. And
perfect.
then talking about stupid, here's another stupid sketch.
This one is great.
When I say stupid, it's with my whole heart. I love this sketch so much.
Mhm,
That's the hottest man I've ever seen.
mhm,
It he was doing an accent that sounded like LA Mushmouth, but also maybe like Anna Delvey.
mhm, mhm.
For those who don't know, Anna Delvey, the socialite swindler who like ripped a bunch of people off, who has this accent that no one can quite place and no one really knows where she's from. You can watch Inventing Anna on Netflix to hear it if you would like, but it kind of sounds like this mush mouth where he's like, "Oh my god, what are we doing?"
I just love it, like, you could tell that, like, this was the accent he spent the most time on, for this show, and it isn't complete, but it's special in its own delightful way, and I love skits like these that aren't, like, tied to IPs or, like, Pedro himself, like, this is just, like, an original little idea they could have done with any actor, but he made it
Mhm.
really, really funny.
I like it a lot. I think it's I don't know. It's so my whole family called me. My mom called me and said she couldn't stop laughing. And then my sister-in-law was like, "Your brother fell asleep." I made him wake up and rewatch that sketch. Like we were just laughing at the like, that's the hottest guy I've ever seen. And I do like the part too where he's like, "I'm way skinnier than that guy." And Katie Thompson's like, "That was yeah, you lost 50 pounds in the coma." And he's like, "Ah, put a pin in that." The put a pin in that.
I like the times, like, he says this twice, but he's like, "I can speak Spanish. Despite what they say, I can speak Spanish." And I that is such a distinctly LA thing. I can't even, like, put it into a phrase that makes sense, but it's just a thing that is very LA,
No,
and I
I
like
speak
that.
Spanish. What did he even say? He was like, "Samba, samba, samba."
Yeah, he was like, "Sama, sama, sana, sana." Yeah, that sounds like Spanish. I
Spanish.
thought he was
He was
gonna
like,
say, like, "Sana, sana, colita
like
de rana," but he didn't quite get there.
he said, "That sounds like Spanish to me." It's
Spanish.
so dumb. I love it so much. The more I think about all of these sketches, the more I'm like, "This is so dumb, I love it so much." Which also does tie in with, this sketch.
Yes! Fan cams. This is
Yes.
oh, we I think this is a good time to say that we joined TikTok this week, so please link us to all the best Pedro Pascal fan cams, please.
I might be trying to make a fan cam set to Big Boys by SZA. Just because here's the thing, everyone was screaming as they were like, "Oh my god, Pedro fan cams, they've seen the fan cam, oh my god." I was screaming because it was Big Boys again, a
Yes,
song I genuinely
yeah.
if
The
SZA put that on
SNL
an
knows
album, I
they
would buy it.
yeah, they know they have a banger. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
like, I loved that they went, "Great, we don't even have to do work and try and get licensing. It's literally our song
Mhm.
that we did with SZA because it went viral on TikTok." Which
Yep.
it is funny to hear that song and then hear Bowen Yang be like, "Skinny legend." Ah!
Love it. I love it.
This sketch is so stupid too. They're all just this is like such a good episode. Again, I need to preface. I I watch SNL every week. I've watched it for most of my life. I've
Mhm.
gone back and watched older seasons. this was just one of the best episodes because everything was so stupid in the best way possible. Where, like, like, they're all so good that you're just like, "This is hilarious. Why am I laughing at a teacher trying to figure out lingo the kids are
Mhm.
using?" And he said our fan cam's good. Him trying to say fan cam,
Fine calm.
fam cam, fam wait,
Fam can.
fam he just said fam cam again, and he tried to say fan cam 3 times and then just still said fam cam and went with it. But it also Sarah Paulson came out as, Miss Jenny, one of their teachers, and it
Mhm.
was, revealed that Miss Jenny and, Teacher Ben are fucking.
Mhm.
There's a lot of layers to these sketches of, like, interpersonal relationships.
Yep. Yep.
Because basically, for I don't know if you guys haven't seen it or didn't catch it, the sketch was saying that Sarah Paulson is the internet's mommy, Pedro Pascal is the internet's daddy, but
Mhm.
this lunch lady is mother, and that's a different thing. So if
Mhm.
you don't know lingo, there's mother, father, daddy, and mommy. Daddy and
Mhm.
mommy, it's all different. I'm not getting into it. You can
Yeah,
look it up.
that's a totally different podcast.
Yeah. But there you go. You got it. Here's the thing. There are so many sketches in this show. Some of them are fine, like this one. It's great.
Mhm.
It's about the Super Bowl, and has Pedro Pascal being attacked by
Yeah, it's a wing crazy skit. It made me very hungry though.
yeah, sitting there where I had no water and was dying of thirst in the middle of a theater watching a bunch of people eat a bunch of wings. I was like, "This is torture. I'm
Nice.
being tortured by this sketch."
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, it was they do those all the time right before big events, and so not exactly surprising, that
Mhm.
they had a Super Bowl sketch, but was funny. I liked it. I thought it was really not cutesy, but it was cute.
Nice.
It was cute because Satan basically threw a bunch of wings. The when a bulldozer, like, breaks a window and just shoves things in the house, I did think that was it just,
That
like,
was
has
pretty great.
a truck full of ranch.
Mm.
And the best part of the sketch was when he goes, "I think we're good on the wings." The girl was
Yep.
like, "No." Heidi Gardner's like, no, what about this deal?" He's like they're all like, "We're good. Why are you giving us more wings?" And then here's a sketch that I think is genuinely funny, but I think it's funny for a different reason than, someone who does speak Spanish. So this sketch is funny because I just knew this mom was talking shit. I
Mhm.
didn't need to know what she was saying. You could just tell this mom was talking some shit.
Yeah.
And that was good enough for me.
I love it. It's I love that it's such a universal thing. It shows that representation can in fact be consumed in a way by everyone, and you don't need everyone to be a white blonde hero. Anyway, I love the skit because of course it sounds like everyone's Latina mom who's in the Latin American culture. And I also love it because like our friend Jenny Lorenzo has that abuelita character, and they actually crossed paths in a Netflix promotion for Narcos long, long ago. And so I've been joking that like for the skit, Pedro went to the abuelita school of abuelitaing, and it was great. I mean, it's a skit that, like I said, on many levels is relatable to a lot of people, or can be funny to a lot of people, despite it being like a very central Latin American experience. Having a mom who will talk in a I mean, it's not a very central Latin American language. If you have a mom who can talk in another language, it's it's pretty universal. Hearing mom
Or if
talk
you have an
shit on
Italian
people.
mom, she's just gonna talk
Yeah.
shit on people the minute they're not in the room.
Mhm.
Genuinely, so it is very funny that he comes out with a beard.
Yeah.
Still has his facial hair.
Everything's just done, but he's got to keep the beard.
The nails are really killing me.
Mhm.
That he has these fake nails. He has nails. He's dressed like B. Arthur.
He really is. His kitchen kinda
He's
looks like the Golden Girls' kitchen too.
yeah, he's in some Alfred Dunner fucking matching outfits, and then he has French tip nails with a
Mhm.
mustache.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Perfection. And then take 2 of Italian night, we got
Ta-da!
to see Pedro Pascal. This sketch is so mean.
It's so terrible.
So this sketch is just like basically these Italian waiters realize if they're mean to one friend, they'll get better tips from everybody else. But it is
Mhm.
so mean at the expense of Sarah Sherman. But it was great for me, someone who frequents Italian restaurants with my family and knows waiters like this. Uh, it's just welcome to it. Antonio's Real Italian Bistro. Here is the thing I'll admit on this podcast. So
Mhm.
Coldplay was the musical guest, right?
Right.
Everyone was like, "Why?" Here's the thing. Going into this, and I said it to my roommate, I said it to everyone who was listening to me talk about this. I said I wanted to hear Coldplay play classics. I didn't care about any new stuff. I wanted to hear the classics. Um, my dream was Green Eyes. I knew it was never going to happen, but I dreamt it. I was like,
Mhm.
"Green Eyes for me, please." Um, they didn't play it.
Mhm.
I said I would love to hear, like, The Scientist or Yellow, but I said, like, I went on a walk one day and I was talking about Coldplay and I said, "I made so many fan vids when I was, like, 15, 16 to Fix You." I had so many big dreams where I was like, "I'm in a movie near me running, it is gonna be such a fix you." I was like, "I love that song." Had not listened to that song prior like, post my dad dying. I was SNL sobbing
Oh god.
because it got to the part where it's like and then does the tears stream down your face when you lose something you cannot replace. And I was like, oh no, I can't replace him. And like it was bad. It was bad. And Ashley I was just crying, like, "This is stupid as shit."
Oh.
Because it was also, like, Chris Martin it was so confusing what was going on anytime Coldplay did anything in the show, because we
Mhm.
could see, like, these aliens appearing from stage, and we were all like, "What's this? Now what are they you guys doing
Yeah,
with some aliens?"
weird.
And then with Fix You, it started with a different song, and then started, like and then I realized I was like, "Oh, no, now they're into Fix You." I think, like, dedicated it to Pedro Pascal and his mom, and so that's he was just like, "I'm gonna just cry."
Oh, yeah. So sad, so sweet.
Yeah, it was emotional. Didn't expect to cry over Coldplay in the year of our Lord 2023.
Ah, love it. Life is full of surprises, Rachel.
Just I was like, "Hey, Ashley, welcome to this experience with me." I'm crying. We've gotten now to one of the most insane sketches of this whole night, and it is so fucking funny because
Mhm.
they can't keep it together. I
No.
am, of course, talking about my girl, Lisa from Temecula. Here's
Yes.
Lisa. I'm
Incredible. I swear I follow like 15 Lisas on Twitter, and I love each and every one of them.
all these
This is what the
Lisas.
world needs more of.
Lisa from Temecula is a sketch where Ego plays Lisa, and she is a woman who is visiting for her sister's birthday. Her sister is Punky Johnson, and so they're all hanging out with all of her friends. But Lisa likes her meat extra well done, and so it goes back as basically a hockey puck. And as she's cutting this meat, the table is going like this. My favorite part was the sangria picture because I was like, that sangria picture's just going, it's going, it's done. And then Punky Johnson had to like stop it so it didn't fly everywhere. But it is the fact that no one could keep it together.
Mhm.
When Lisa said, when like the manager of the restaurant comes out and is like, we've gotten reports, And Lisa's like, "Why? Because 'Cause we're black," and it cuts to Bo and Yang just fully laughing, just, like, can't control his face anymore.
Perfect.
Um, it's just I don't know, I love sketch I think it's so stupid. I love it.
This sketch is so good. I just like, it was the end of the night, right?
Mhm.
And you can tell. But it's I don't know. It's one of those things where like when everyone loses it, it's done in a very tolerable way where like everything kind of hits just right. So I loved it. I loved the chaos. I think it was the perfect way to end the show.
Yeah, it hit in the I don't know if you know Debbie Downer, but it hit
Mm,
in the
oh, I
Debbie
love
Downer way,
yeah. Uh-huh.
where everyone is just laughing and at that
Mhm.
point, and no one can keep it together, and it hit like that where you were like, "Yeah, I get these people like this nuts. But here I am.
Mhm.
Oh well." And then for Katrina,
Look at that. We're so proud. I love that shirt so much. It's just perfect. It's perfect. It was a great shot too.
it was a lovely, lovely night.
Mhm.
And just an overall good episode. Katrina, if you're down for it, let's rank real quickly
Mm.
our least favorite. Again, these all these sketches are good, but our least favorite to our favorite sketches.
Okay. I would say the least favorite, like my lowest bar, would be the first Big Boy Chili skit.
Oh,
The Italian waiters.
yep,
It was fun, but it was like, I give or take it. It wasn't even bad. It was just like, oh, cool. And then the wing thing. It was funny and weird, but I mean, like, it's not like there. I don't really consider this a low rank. It's just like that's good.
yeah,
But it wasn't like wow, like some of the other ones. And then of course my top skits would be absolutely the Mario skit. Completely brilliant. I loved it. Um, I think that's the winner of the night for me.
yeah. It's
Mm.
that was my second. So my first is the fan cams.
Yes.
As the number one stan of Big Boys by SZA.
Hmm.
Because it's cuffing season, all the girls be needing, "I need a big boy, I need a big boy, I need a big boy."
I
That's
agree.
David Harbour's song. I'll let Pedro Pascal use it for this sketch, but that is a David Harbour song.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that is up there. The fucking Mushmouth sketch has been
Yes.
growing on me
Mhm.
just because it is so funny, but Lisa from Temecula is I can't stop thinking about it. I've tried.
Perfect.
Today at dinner, me and my friends were sitting down, and my friend Marika made a joke about cook her meat. Just like, just, I can't stop. I love it so much because they all tried to
Hmm.
stop laughing. It didn't work. It failed spectacularly. It's so good.
Hmm.
All right. Any thoughts on that we didn't talk about on SNL or Fallon?
Let's see, let's see. No, no, no. I think we've covered like everything I wanted to go over in this episode. Yeah, did pretty good.
Yeah,
Go us.
go us. We did. I
uh,
did see Jeremy O'Harris at SNL. He like walked up and I turned around. I was like, "Nope, there's Jeremy." Like I saw like a couple of
yeah,
famous people and was like, "Oh, there's so and so. There
nice.
goes that person."
Yeah, well, I'm glad you guys had a really good time. Like, I think it was great to bring everyone with you as much as you could. Like, I really enjoyed living vicariously through you through the feed, and I'm
I
sure.
wish you were in New
I
York because I would have been like, "You're coming."
I know. He's gotta host again later this year when I come visit because that's the only thing. You know,
Yeah,
that's
or sir,
all I
just
can
come
hope
on the
for.
podcast.
Yeah, just come on. Just what are you waiting for? We're here. But
What are you doing?
yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad. This was a great week for Pedro. It's going to continue to be a great couple of several weeks for Pedro, and I'm excited to be here doing this with you all folks, you
Yeah,
and
well,
Rachel and Ashley
me
and
and Rachel.
I meant like the fans, the listeners, and Rachel. I was talking to them directly, even though I'm staring at you, but you can't tell because I'm staring in some direction on camera. good. It's late,
Um,
guys.
it is late. All right, before we get into everyone's favorite section of our podcast, we have
Yay!
an announcement.
Yes. We do
Katrina,
have an
you take
announcement.
the lead.
We have officially launched merch this week. It's out now. There's just so much stuff. There's 4 designs, but there's so much stuff you can get because we put it up on TeePublic, so you can get a tangent T-shirt for when you want to go on tangents, or you get a notebook to log your stashes of the week. You
Honestly, I
could,
might buy that.
yeah, I know. I was like, oh, that's kind of good. I might get that for like my
I think
notes
I
and stuff for the
truly might get
show.
that.
You can get a tote bag so you can carry cool stuff around when you follow Pedro Pascal from Jimmy Fallon to SNL next.
Just
Uh,
one floor up.
yeah, exactly. And then you can stay cozy in 13-degree weather with an official Pedro Pascal logo hoodie thing, sweatshirt guy. So check it out. We are now live on TeePublic, as the banner is displaying right now for those of us who are watching. We're probably gonna have the link in the description too. Like, I just wasted all of your time, but here you are listening to me anyway. So you might as well go check out our new merch on teepublic.com today.
And then with that, we have come to everyone's favorite moment in time. Stash, stash, stash,
Woo!
stash, stash, to stash, 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 to stash. The stash on everybody's lips is gonna be Pedro's.
Hey.
That means it's stash of the week. Um,
Yes.
so Katrina, let's talk about your pick. Your
Um,
dad.
it's it's father. I thought the Mario stash was pretty awesome. Nice little edge to it. Yeah, and he actually just looks like Super Mario. So what are you gonna do about it? It's perfect. I love the
That was
little shells on
that
the
was
table
your
next.
pick on Saturday. So if you've changed your pick, go ahead. I just pulled up what you
No,
had
I'm
said.
keeping that pick. I'm keeping it. It should be a pick for 2 shows in a row because just a great mustache. Super great.
Stash, stash,
It's
stash.
my father.
I will. Mine and Ashley's are a tag team because the minute we saw this one picture, we were like, "Oh, that's for us." This is Ashley's pick, and it is
Nice.
Pedro Pascal with a bunch of mustaches and a coat. Um,
Incredible.
which was like from the commercial break. It came up, and Ashley literally was like, "Oh no." So that is Ashley's pick, and my pick. It came from Pedro's hairstylist and groomer, who is great. I love her. Uh, her name is Coco Ulrich Mooney. I think it's dash. She decided to share some behind the scenes images on her Instagram, and I die. It's
Oh,
from the
it's perfect.
same. It's from the
It's
same photo shoot because that's
mhm,
the coat that is featured in this picture.
mhm.
But it's just great. It's giving me Reno 911 vibes.
Yes, I love it. I love that they did specifically a stash of the week's photo shoot just for us specifically.
That was their nod. They were like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Podro, here you go."
Yeah, so we're definitely gonna be using that as our new stash of the week cover. There's just gotta I'll add like some sparkles. We'll get you to like record the song and that'll be our new stash of the week.
Slash.
I'll do like
Uh,
in the background.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it.
But yeah, so guys, you can now own a notebook that says "Stash of the Week" while thinking about this image of Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, look at that.
Seems like a win-win situation.
Never miss a week to log a stash.
You're gonna log that
Okay.
stash. Day 45. This stash was pretty good. Tape a pic- keep
7
a
out of
picture
10.
or
Higher
draw
hopes for tomorrow.
draw a picture. Overall, I no notes. Loved the experience. Um, realize I'm too old I'm not that old. Too old to go running around. I was like, "Oh, Jimmy Fallon and this in one building? Great.
Yep,
You got
good
it.
job.
Cool.
I think
Gold
I think
flap."
you guys you did a great job this week. You did good. You got the thing that you wanted to get, and that's all that anyone can ask for in this life. And that's what dreams are made of.
Hey now. Hey
Hey
now.
now. Yeah, you got it.
This is what dreams are made of. I got I can't do the rest of the song. But yeah, so guys, that was our SNL episode. If you have any questions, concerns, combos you want to have about SNL, shoot us a message. We'll talk about them on the pod. What
Mhm.
else we got going on? Nothing. But yeah, Katrina, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me anywhere on the internet if you look for Oh Katrina. That's OHCATRINA. I'm doing lots of cool stuff very soon, so follow me everywhere. Not everywhere, but everywhere. What about you,
Yeah,
Rachel?
you can follow me at Rachel Leishman on Twitter, at Rachel underscore Leishman on Instagram, and you can read my work at the Mary Sue, and some of it is on also Collider. And yeah, follow my work on the Mary Sue because right before I went to SNL, a huge event happened. Benjamin Wyatt the cat got to meet
What?
Benjamin Wyatt. Yeah, Katrina, I didn't even get to tell you this. Adam Scott and Benji have met.
Wow. That's big. You don't always meet your namesake in life.
No,
And
and
now your cat has achieved something I didn't achieve in my life.
he
So,
met him.
yep, that's incredible. How
Yep,
was it?
it was really sweet because the whole
Mm.
day I was doing party line interviews. The whole day, the people knew I had this cat, and I got
Mhm.
into the room, and the producer of the room goes, "Oh my gosh, Rachel, I've heard about this cat." And Adam Scott went, "Is that Ben Wyatt the cat?" I said, "It is,"
Ah,
and I held him up,
so
and then he ran.
cute.
He instantly said,
Aw.
I want out."
He's very selective about when he wants to be on camera, and I respect that.
Yeah, he said, "No, thank you. No more
Mm.
pictures." But yeah, but please follow the pod, like, rate, review, subscribe, send us emails, send us things, tell Pedro Pascal to be on the podcast. I don't know what you
Mhm.
people do, but do fun things. Go ahead and contact us. We love to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then until next time. Oh, and buy our merch now
Yeah, check out, our merch on TeePublic.
on TeePublic. In this link you can't click on in the YouTube video, but will be
I
available.
don't know, I should have put a little more thought into that one.
Until next time, bye bye.